Great. So we're just going to do the same breathing exercise as last week, but I'll just explain it. And just before we start, I'll just mute everyone so that the sound works. So the energetic channels, which in Taoist philosophy is what takes the energy all around the body. There's two. So one going from the coccyx up the spine all the way over the head and to the roof of the mouth, and then one going from the bottom of the mouth all the way down and back round. So we're just going to do that same thing of inhaling up all the way for around 6 counts and then exhaling down. And if 6 counts is too much, just modify it to whatever suits. And we'll just start with that. But just to begin, we'll just exhale everything out. So to just clear space for the practice, we'll do 6 exhales, so breathing, and you can take your hands to your stomach if it helps. Taking an inhale and really having the stomach come all the way out, and then as we exhale, out through the nose or the mouth. Hi there. So just going at your own time, we'll do 6 of those. And then we'll just do another round. So breathing into the stomach and then exhaling. And then last time, great, and then just letting your breath come back to its natural rhythm for a few breaths before we begin breathing up the spine and then down, back up to all the way round to the coccyx. And if you have the tongue at the roof of the mouth, it just connects the two channels according to the philosophy. So if that feels comfortable, just breathing in and taking the awareness to the coccyx as we breathe in, breathing up. So breathing in for 1, 2, 3, to the roof of the mouth, and then breathing out. 1, 2, 3. Breathing all the breath out, and then breathing in. Taking the awareness up the spine, over the head, and then breathing out for 3. And then breathing in. Each vertebrae at a time, up all the way over the head into the roof of the mouth, and breathing out down all the way back to the coccyx, and then breathing in and out. Taking the awareness round, breathing in as much air as you can, all the way, and then breathing out. Breathing out all the air in the lungs. And last time, breathing in to the roof of the mouth, and then breathing out. And when you have fully exhaled, just exhale a little more and breathe in. And just breathing normally. And when you're ready, just opening the eyes again. And today we're just gonna do another variation of this posture here. So it'll be the last variation we do. But this one's a really great one to practice to come back to the structure. So it's one I would recommend a lot. So we'll start with a warm-up or just a short loosening exercise. So we can just have the arms hang and then just swinging the arms. And if you feel any tension in your upper body, then you can maybe let your hands come to that area, just giving it a quick massage. So really letting the arms go. Relaxing the shoulders. And then from the legs, so just pushing up a little bit, just pushing so that the arms come up over the shoulders, the opposite shoulder. So we're just gently massaging the muscle between the neck and the shoulder, the muscles that come down. And then we can push up even more so that the arm comes back. And we want to keep the head up, so I don't really want to be taking it to the side, just keeping it as straight as possible. And when you feel ready, just shaking up and down. So you can let the shoulders kind of come up and down and letting all of the tensions just fall to the floor. Then we're just gonna shake out the legs. So taking one leg at a time and without really forcing. And you can take it up if that feels good. And round, so taking the knee up and then round and then. And to each side. And then to the back. Great. So this exercise, we come into the same one as last week, so we come back into this position, and this time our visualization is that we have 3 tubes. So one tube going from the ground all the way round in an arch, kind of in a bow, going all the way down and then into the ground on the other side. And this tube is connected to another big tube, which is our upper body here, which is open at the top. And the third tube is our arms, which is also connected. So we have these 3 tubes, 3 arched tubes, 3 bent tubes, if you will, and just that opening at the top here. So we have another visualization. So if you want to take your arms, stretch them down, all the way down, stretch them as far as you can, then as far forward as you can, and then twisting and just taking them back a little bit. So we'll just do this a couple of times. So stretching them all the way down, stretching all the way out, stretching in opposite directions to the front, then twisting the arm on itself and just coming to this position here with the shoulders relaxed. So one last time, stretching both arms down and then outwards, and then coming with our shoulders just slightly forward and relaxed to this position. Our feet are around hip width, our knees slightly bent, and the tailbone just tucked under slightly. And then we're just going to visualize our first tube, our first arched tube of the legs. And if you feel comfortable, you can close the eyes. And you can feel it going from the ground on one side up all the way to the other side. So it's a hollow tube. And you can take your awareness to the space in front of the tube, so the volume in front of you that creates. And then you can take your attention to where it meets the tube of the back, the hollow tube. It's welded together all the way up to the top where it opens. And then you can just take the attention to the space in front of you that it creates. And then our third tube, the tube of our arms, we can feel where it's connected to the tube of the back, feeling the hollowness, and then feeling the space in between our hands and the chest. And then from the top of the tube, we can just visualize water flowing down the hollow tube. If at any points you feel any stiffness or need a break, just take the arms down. And when you're ready, take them back up. So coming back to the visualization, we just imagine water flowing in through the head to the outsides of the tubes, flowing all the way down, and any tensions in the body just flow down the inside of the body. And the water flows all the way down to the ground. It flows down the inside edge of the tubes. And at the same time as the water is absorbed into the ground, some water starts to stay, and the water level inside of the body starts to rise. And at the same time, the water flows down the inside, from the top of the head down the inside of all the tubes. And the water level starts to rise to our knees. And the water flows down the tubes, all the way down. And the water level rises to the hips, into the tube of the back. And just feeling the water flow down the body from the top of the head. And the water flows all the way down. And the water level rises to the chest. It starts to fill the arms, the tubes of the arms. Starts to fill all the way up to the top of the head. And now we have a structure made of 3 arches filled with water. So it's just one structure made up of 3 arches, and it starts to become heavy like water. And we can just take our attention to all the little movements that our bodies make, how that moves the inside, the water inside our structure, inside our body. And when you're ready, taking the arms all the way down. And again, just relaxing the arms. So with this visualization and that exercise, we train our perception both to be aware of this structure made up of the 3 arches, so our legs, our back and our arms, and also the space or the volume that creates. So the legs creates a volume in front of us, with the back we create a whole volume here, and with the arms we create this volume here. And we really want to just keep that volume always. And then taking the arms up, massaging that muscle from here to here. And with time, we can also start to feel it really makes a difference doing this exercise, because at the beginning it maybe feels like we're holding the structure, so we're holding our arms up, or we're holding the correct posture and structure. But actually part of what we're trying to train is this idea of fan song, which is really to release and to let go. So with time, as you do this and your visualization gets stronger, you can visualize it being held up, and you start to use this exercise to relax down. So if you need, you can shake out the legs really briefly. And then we'll just continue with the sequence of the centre, and we'll add some more of the movements. So with this sequence, if it feels hard to kind of concentrate that awareness down to just this point here below the belly button, start with just all of the upper body, just getting the awareness to all of the upper body. Then we can kind of narrow it down to maybe just this area, and then slowly our attention will come, if that helps. But also, just with time, it'll become easier. So we can have the same stance here, with our legs around shoulder distance, looking forward, our knees relaxed, and we can just bring our arms forward. And here as well, now as we're building our knowledge, we can really pay attention to the volume or the space in between our arms and chest as well. So that rather than me being here, having my arms quite close, my elbows bent, I have it out a little bit, just being mindful of that volume and this arch. And then you can take your attention down, and we'll just move the centre from right to left. So keeping the weight 50-50 on each leg, and trying to keep the legs still, focusing right in on that centre point. And relaxing the shoulders. That looks really good. Everyone is actually looking better, which is great. So we'll just do 10 of these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, that looks great. 8, 9, 10. And then we'll just move the centre from left to right, so as if we're kind of sliding it over. So yeah, again, if possible, not moving the legs, but just moving so my legs stay really still. I don't move the weight, so for example, I want to avoid doing this. This is an exaggeration, but I want to avoid moving the weight from one leg to the other, and try and isolate the movement. That looks really good, Natasha. Fab. That looks great, Patricia. Yes, Gabby. So yeah. So we'll do just 10 of these. So 1, 2, and again, if it feels hard, no worries. Just letting yourself do what you can, and with time and with practice, it'll become easier. 9, 10. Great. And then we're just going to take it up in a circle, so a 2D circle just going up. I take the centre up and then down, up and down. So not backwards or forwards, really just up and down on this kind of plane here. So moving up and down, up, and then as it becomes more comfortable, can flow the movement. That looks great, Holly. So we'll just do 10 of these. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Great, Zoe. 8, 9, 10, and then we'll just change the direction to the other side. So taking it 1, 2, 3, nice Hazel, 4, 5, 6. So as much as possible not moving the weight, so we don't want to be doing this so much. So as much as possible just keeping that still. 9, 10. Great job. And we'll just take it to the movement. So if it helps, you can take your finger, and then to start the big circle we just go left to go right, and then taking it round. So as much as we can, keeping this angle the same, and just moving the center, so my arm and shoulder are doing very little. That looks great, Gabby. So we'll just do 5 of these. So really my center comes down, so it moves down, moves to the side, and then moves up and to the side. So we'll just do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Great, and just taking the arm out to the other side, so we come into the middle to come out. So again, from the center, coming down, coming up and down, so this hand, this arm, this side might be different in some way. It might be less coordinated, it might be more coordinated. It's really normal. So we'll just do 5, 2, 3. So just listening to the sensations. 4, 5. Great, so just to explain a bit more, this arch that we were training with this posture, we really want to keep it the same as we move with all our movements. So if I do this, for example, this is an exaggeration. This is mostly my shoulder doing the work, even if I do it very slowly. So we're just, with this one, just to show it's just my shoulder and the angle stays this as much the same as it can. And then we have our next exercise. So just pointing forward, and the center moves in a figure of 8. So a sideways figure of 8. And through the movement of the center, we project with our finger a sideways figure of 8. That's looking really good. Nice job. So again, just keeping the weight as much, having nice bent knees. And we'll just do 5 of these. So 1, 2, just at whatever pace works. 4, 5. That looks great. I'm just doing the other side. 1, 2, 3, 4. Nice Holly. 5. Great. And the last one of these ones is a little bit more tricky maybe. Is this time we imagine our center, or the middle of our center, like a ball, as if it rolls, as if it's rolling forward, and it creates a spiral all the way up to the finger. So as our center rolls to the side and slightly forward, it creates this spiral, which we can then see in the movement of the hand. That looks really good, Gabi. So it kind of rolls forward and it creates, and again, this you can see probably pretty much stays the same. So we maintain our arch, and it's only really in the hand that is visible. That's great. So we'll just do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then coming to the other side, and it rolls 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That looks good. So this one can be quite tricky, especially at the start, but it's quite an important one because we start to realise the connectedness of the body, every part of the body, and how things travel in the body. Great, so there's just 2 more in this sequence which have all to do with the hips. So we can kind of imagine as if we have a pole from here all the way out, and as if we were just to twist this pole so our hips come back and forward. So it's just really this part coming back and forward, back and forward. Does that make sense to everyone? Great. So just tilting the hips forward, creating lots of space in that lower back. So this, if this is something you don't do often, just be really gentle because it can be a little uncomfortable. Just allowing it to go at your own pace, and then we just tilting it forward and then tilting it back. So forward and back, forward, back. And then with our arms, we come back to our arch, having lots of space. And then as we tilt it back, tilting back, our arms, our palms face out. And as we tilt it forward, our palms face in. And this comes in a fluid movement, so we have the palms facing out and then they come back in. So out and in. out and in. So if the hands feel a bit too much, you can just switch the hands at the start, and then with time taking it into this fluid motion. And the important thing is just really paying attention to the hips, that movement. And we're taking our center, so the lower dantian, and we're just merging it with another energetic center further up. Great, so out and in. So we'll just do that 5 times. 1, out, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then this next exercise is the same, except from our hand movement changes from going down and up to going up and down. So this is the movement for the second one, and the hips stay the same. So our hips come out and we move in. And our arch stays the same, it's really the hands that are moving. Out and in. Out and in. So we'll just do that 5 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's looking really good. We can just shake out, relax our arms, our shoulders, relax the mind, and just take a couple of really deep breaths in. And then taking the arms up. And giving yourself a little shake. So we're just going to do the sequence together, so one after the other, just 10 counts. And then instead of this position, we'll just try it in a position called Mabu, which is just about, instead of one shoulder distance, around 1.5 to 2, so just whatever feels comfortable, and then relaxing the hips and tucking the tailbone under. If it feels less comfortable, just taking a slightly lesser stand, just taking whatever the body. So we'll just start with this position and then we'll move on, just training our legs. So again, we'll just stretch the arms all the way down, stretching them all the way out, taking a deep breath in, stretching them all the way forward, breathing in, and then as we take them in, we can breathe out all the way down. So breathing in, stretching them out, still breathing in just a little bit more, and then as we take them forward, breathing out all the way. And last time, stretching down, stretching them forward, and then breathing out. Great. So we'll just take our arms together, and then we'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and in a circle, one way, 2, 3, that looks great, 4, 5, and the other way, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Taking the arm out, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Nice job. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Taking it out front, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And other side, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Great. And last two. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then taking it up. 1, out, 2, 3, 4, 5. Taking it down, and we'll just take the slightly larger position wherever that is for you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And the other foot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And taking it to the next one, so sliding 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we'll go circles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And to the other side. 1, 2, great job. 3, 4, 5. So your legs should be burning. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And to the other side. 1, 2, 3. Nice job, you guys. 4, 5. Just a few more. So hands out in front. Figure of 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So last 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And just keeping the legs as still and steady as you can. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Last 2, I hope everyone can feel their legs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. And last one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. Taking it all the way up and in. Can everyone feel their legs? Yeah? Good. We're just strengthening the legs with this one and isolating the center even further. So in the Mabo, we can either have 50-50 weight, or when you're practicing, you can also have 70 and 30, just training the legs one by one. And you can, if you want, just stretch the thigh here one at a time. And taking some deep breaths in. Great. And we'll just shake out the arms, just letting them hang down, really relaxed. And then all the way up. And then shaking out our legs. Just gently, as if we're flushing it out, flushing something out through the toes. And taking it up if it feels good. to the side. And to the back. And then we can stretch the toes and the soles of the feet by just taking the toes down, and the weight is on this leg, and we just take the weight back a little bit, how it feels good, and just doing that on each side. And then this time taking the heel down, and our toes are in a T shape here. I take this arm forward, the shoulder comes forward, and the other arm just wraps around to hold the elbow. And we take it 1, 2, 3. And then we take the other side. So this time, this arm, the shoulder presses forward. 1, 2, 3. So one more on each side. 1, 2. And great. And just shaking out the legs here, shaking the hips, and then shaking the upper body. Shaking it all out. Great. So, in the series, all the things we do in the structure, we're just really aligning the body in the right way, building strength. And then as we come into the series of the elasticity of the body, we really start to stretch and open so that our body can expand and contract. So you guys all looked really good. There was a big difference to last week, so it's really good. Either you guys have been practicing, which I hope, or you're just naturals, which is also good. But yeah, just take some time if you can this week to practice that sequence of the center, taking the attention down. And I'm just wondering if there's any questions or comments, if you guys found it easier than last week or how things are. So.
I did. I really liked the tubes. The tubes really helped me get a sense of the arcs much more, and then filling up with water for me was less stressful than the mountain water rising somehow. I was able to relax into it a lot more. Like it's building on it. It's not that the mountain thing didn't work for me. I think it's really helped the mountain thing make more sense, and I had less panic of, oh my god, I can't hold this, or just that sense of, oh, okay, oh, I see how they all hold each other. So that felt a lot easier, and it was lovely. The one thing I'm still struggling with is getting that big oval going without the arm that's doing it. You know, like to try and get that big a movement just from the centre. I'm kind of finding that my upper body's getting involved in a way that doesn't quite feel right. So I'll just practice. I don't think there's anything necessarily, unless there's any little tricks or visualizations, but that's the one I'm struggling with a wee bit.
Yeah, and it's not, as we come down, it does, our shoulder does come down more than in relation. It's just rather than just our shoulder moving, it's like they're connected, if that makes sense.
Right. Okay. So okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking I had to keep that, and it was all happening here. I was like, oh god. Okay, that makes more sense. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm really glad that the tube one is working, and the water kind of flowing down has a lot to do with kind of the releasing of tension and then building up as we kind of, so yeah, just having that visualization helps a lot, and having everything flow down. Great. Um, so did you have a question or no? Okay. Okay, cool. So if there's any more questions or comments, now's the time, or we'll just do just a quick meditation to finish off.
Did Gianfranco get back to you about the trigrams?
Yeah, so he was saying that he um, only knows it as a visualization in, thanks for reminding me, say it, he only knows it as the visualization of kind of getting the essence, etc. And that his teacher didn't talk to him about that, but it could all be connected, so maybe it's worth me looking in some more to it. And maybe, yeah, we could have a chat about what you know, and we can, yeah, look into it together if you're interested. Cool. Sweet. So for breathing, in neuroscience research, they find that as you breathe in, it stimulates your sympathetic nervous system more. So your heart rate goes up, etc. And it's kind of the flight part of the fight, flight, freeze, and the out breath stimulates the parasympathetic neuro system more. So that's more kind of resting, digesting, so it slows the heart rate, etc. So if we breathe in for longer and breathe out for shorter, it kind of stimulates, or this is what they've found, it stimulates attention, it gets you more focused. And if we breathe out for longer, it just means that we come into a resting state and relax more. So we're just gonna do that. So we're just gonna breathe in for around 4, and everyone can kind of count this for themselves, whatever feels good, and then we'll just breathe out for 2 counts longer. So breathing in for 4 and then breathing out for around 6, whatever counts feel good. So we'll maybe do a few together and then we'll do at our own pace. And you can just take your attention to your lungs or your stomach, kind of belly area, and just as you breathing in, just paying attention to all the sensations inside. And if it feels comfortable, just closing the eyes. And then breathing in. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then breathing out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And breathing in. 2, 4. And breathing out. 2, 4, 6. Breathing all out. And last time together. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then breathing out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And at your own pace. And if your attention has wandered, just taking it back to counting your in-breath and your out-breath. And now as you inhale, you can imagine that you're inhaling through the belly button and that the breath rises all the way up to the head. And as you exhale, the breath moves down, back out through the belly button. And each time that you breathe in, you can imagine the air carving out more space in your body. And if your mind has wandered, just gently taking it back to counting 4 in and 6 out. And for the last couple of minutes, as you breathe in, you can breathe into a place, if there is a place in your body that feels tense or tight, and just breathing into that space and creating more space there. And then last couple of breaths, emptying all the air out of your lungs. And filling it back. And last time, just emptying all the air out. and filling it back. And when you're ready, just opening your eyes and coming back. Okay. Just plug you guys in. Great, so I hope everyone feels nice and relaxed. And if anyone has any questions or comments, Sarah, if you want to stay on, you can let me know what you know, and we can